Hey guys, JJ here. Welcome back for a Wednesday of Zoom networking. Really excited about our guest speaker today because he's someone that I've met in person. I've heard his story. Um, he is a father, he's a husband, he's a family man extraordinaire, actually. He's a leader in his family, leader in his community. He's a leader in the sub 2 community of Pace Morby. And he's a friend of mine. I proudly introduce my good friend to you, Mr. Chad Glover. Chad, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you having me on this, JJ. It's always a pleasure hanging with someone such as your caliber. You've been consistently putting out value from day one since the day I met you, and it's amazing to see from 5 years later what you still continue to putting out, man. So you value
Yeah,
100%.
it's been about 5 years. We've now have on our YouTube channel like over 350 interviews.
Love it, love it.
300, and that's not including we had a whole bunch of calls that we never even put on YouTube.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
when
I've
I
done
started,
over.
it was yeah. When I came on, you was already like cranking out. So I don't know how much you wasn't putting up there. You was always
Yeah.
looked at the connector, the one that was just plugging people together, man. So that's a value in itself.
Yeah,
You know,
thank you, brother.
relationship.
It's actually something I enjoy doing, really, is just meeting
Mhm.
people. And
Yeah.
with what we're doing, like I know you because of social media. I know you because
Mhm.
of Facebook and seeing your face and your name and who is this guy? I'm seeing him all over the place. That's Chad Glover. And
Mhm.
and I realized that, we all talk about it all the time. The key to success in our business is by who we surround ourselves with. And when we look for successful people, we only have one place to look, and that's for who's visually successful.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
we reach out to those that are visually successful and to see who might we be able to resonate with, who likes us, meaning who do we resonate with? And
Mhm.
I reached out to you, and you were like, "Okay, I'll talk to you." I was like, "Thank
Mhm.
you, Chad." Hey, I
Yeah.
want to get onto your personal story because it's, as we said earlier, your story is a story really of persistence, drive,
Mhm.
success. Having a humble beginning and just putting your pedal to the metal and your nose to the grindstone. And you've just become an example of not only success for your community, but for your family. So I,
Mhm.
I really commend you and acknowledge you for all the great things you've done and the great person you've become for your community. And that's not just not within the state, but nationally, because you're respected everywhere.
Yes. It's kind of like what I was speaking with you about when it comes to checks and balances. Um, Even when we think of it, we think a lot of people think in terms of politics, right? When you think in terms of just life, real estate in general, it's a way of doing that too. And the way that I found it since I didn't have it was real estate. It's a way of getting in and kind of leveling out the playing field, so to speak, and really getting in doors that basically wasn't open to you initially. Like you stated, my story was coming from like you got people that start on third base, but myself wasn't even inside of the stadium, to even be on the base, period. So when you think of that and the opportunity that we have here to just push out and do the things that we aspire to be, I think it starts with that initial thought, the initial thing of saying yes, it is something more than whatever. It don't matter what background you come from, but I think it's truly about the effort you put into, the drive you put into, like you said, persistence that goes into it. When I found real estate, like that options of creative financing came second actually. Wholesaling came first because I had to figure out what's the idea to get in. When I learned that you can trade paper essentially and get paid from, I said, oh, this is gonna be like a cakewalk. That's how I looked at it. Like this is legal. This is like a legal hustle in my mind. That's how I equated it. Because coming where I come from, just being super transparent, that's all that was around me. So you see, you kind of navigate that world, and now you take those and put it into this world. It's like, oh, it's literally the same thing. It's just safer.
So
And
let
it
me
ain't
ask
it
you,
ain't a little vicious sometimes. It get vicious on this side too now, but
let, let,
it is
let me
safer.
let me ask you, when you started real estate, and I've known you from the Sub 2 community, you're one of the launches
Hmm.
Sub 2. Um, and creative finance is what Pace's thing was in the beginning and still. So I
Yeah.
would imagine that your foyer, that obviously you're in sub two now. How were you introduced to sub two? How were you introduced to Pace Morby? And actually, what were you doing before you became a real estate investor?
Um, with Pace, well, I can start when I first started. So it kind of questions I asked it be both answered in one thing is that I found Pace when I was actually at work. I was doing a CNC, which basically I was just running the program that the programmer said done. So that coded, then I go in and fix up a little things inside of and let it run. So I'm basically I tell people like, man, this code, this is like a cheat code. Like if you wanted to retire from here, perfect. You know what I mean? I it actually helped me, because I was able to study real estate the whole time, then go home and implement it. Because again, I was doing nothing but what I just described. So Pace was doing a 16-hour live that night, and I just logged on, and he was just giving out constant, just pace. Before Pace, he said now like how he didn't know how to educate, so he just used to give, just give, give, give. So I found him at that point. And I'm like, man, if he's doing this on this Zoom, giving this type of information, I can take this and literally start it and go do it tomorrow. Imagine if I joined him. And that's when I found out that night that he had sub two. And I like joined immediately.
How many
And
were at sub two when you joined? I remember you're in before I am, I'm sure.
I came in June. I started in May, but I posted my first post in June of 2020. So I think it started in April. So maybe I was like probably like the third wave of people that was in there. I'm not sure, but it was nowhere like 5,000 or nothing. It was like,
Yeah,
yeah, it was
I,
super small. Yeah.
I you're probably into about 1,800. I was into about
Yeah.
1,200.
Yeah, it was the cool thing is that he used to say all the time we're going to build this community and all that, and I really didn't grasp what he was saying until now. As it went on, like, oh yeah, we was literally building out the modules, right? So you would go in there. I was on the rap series with him, educating on that, and then it just kept evolving. Now it's other students that's teaching. So in looking at what Pace has done, I say this for anybody: just if you want to be successful, you don't have to do everything you're doing, but just to watch them and kind of like mimic one part of that, and I promise you it'll be okay. Whatever that you want to do, and you can do it from afar too. If you don't join sub two immediately, just watch his YouTube, watch just how he interact at meetups and things like that, and then get on here with people like JJ. What he's doing is just a reflection of what he's doing, JJ done great at, and also the stuff he's learned from Pace too. So it's just what he stated when I came in is that campfire. It's super important that you figure out who you're around and what value that they actually not only bring you, but what you bring in them. And if it ain't a thing of it's lifting you up, something is holding you back because you're only going to rise according to the people you're around. It's just how it is. Like if you tell me where you work or how much money you making, I'm pretty sure your friends are making the same amount. They somewhere in that range. It's just how it happens. So how I made myself get around more people when people around me is not doing what I'm doing, I would go to meetups. If I'm not on a meetup, I'm on a call with them. Those I'm on a Zoom with them. So I'm around them. So it
Yeah,
have to be physical. Gotta get some type of relationship and proximity to them.
let me ask you, Chad, because I go to a lot of meetups too. Do you find when you meet, and we meet so many people, I'm sure they're reaching out to you more, you're reaching out to them, because I try and follow up with a lot of the people I meet. And do you find that I call it the 1 out of 7 rule, 1 out of 7, 1 out of 10 of all the people
Mhm.
that you meet, a lot of them just don't stay in touch. Do you find that same situation?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Because a lot of times people don't know what to what their value is if they're not doing deals, for example. They tell me that all the time. I don't know what to like give you. And
Hmm.
it's like that I'm not really looking so much as what you trying to give when in terms of money or if you don't have it. Say you're not a lender, like I can't make you into a lender, right? Or if you don't know how to do deals or close and all of those things, doesn't mean that I can't give you a list to call on, right? So that's the thing that I think what keeps people from not reaching back out. They think they don't have a certain level of value. Cause like with myself, I didn't know creative finance, right? So if I would have never just kept asking questions or being around the people, I would have never went as fast, right? Or studying, I would study what I'm doing, then I take action, make mistakes. I think a lot of people is um, afraid of making a mistake too, but not realizing that's actually how you grow. That's truly how you're going to move within the space. Like it's impossible to go at this stuff that we doing and not make some type of mistake. Like a
Yeah.
real life one, like I can tell you tons of stuff that happened, but I can tell you tons of wins that take over that too, you know?
You know, I want to shift directions for a moment. Um, I think I saw a post of you on social media. Did one of your kids graduate high school or college recently?
College. Yeah.
College. Congratulations.
My my son it was got his master's.
His master's degree.
Yeah.
Wow. In what field?
Psychology.
Fantastic. And where did he go to school?
App State. He did his master's at App State. He did his got his bachelor's from Western Carolina.
You must be very quite proud of that.
Yeah, 100%.
There
100%.
you go.
Yeah,
Yeah. Now,
that's the goal.
how many kids do you have?
I got three, one by marriage, two biological.
There you go.
Hmm.
So, did you just build a house a couple years ago, didn't you, or quite a while ago, or?
No, I built one in 2018. The other ones I just been purchasing. That's already there. I took one that was basically a shell, though. You can say I built it was nothing in it, no electrical, no plumbing, no like zero. It literally you could see through the house,
Wow.
basically.
Now,
And I
did you
redone it.
did you have to pull electric from the street to a sub panel?
Yeah, what they do, they bought out they basically just connected it once I ran the wires in. They basically hooked like started it up as if I was moving living in it. So they
Cool.
actually run it underground now. They don't run it over top, they run it under, which was super beneficial. I thought they were just gonna hook it straight back to the like they normally do, but they run it underground. Cause it's basically a new house. It's just a 19. I think this house was originally built in like 1950 something or something. It's like an old house, but it's completely new, top to bottom.
That's fantastic. No, I wanted to ask you about your son. I know that you've done things for your family and for the community, and you know, talk a moment for how you become a leader in your community and how you've just helped your family and by building your business and by becoming successful leading by example.
Yeah, I think the cool part is that one thing I started having examples from was early on was people like my aunt when she went to the Navy, for example, and then she retired as a chief. You know, I had other members. Military was like the out, so to speak. You know, everybody wasn't going to like colleges and all that. That became like our generation started doing that. You know, like my kids and people that was around my other little cousins and stuff like that, but they didn't. They're because again, they was older than me, so you know they had it. I ain't gonna say worse. That's the wrong term, but they was more familiar with something other than I was dealing with. You know, I come in as a kid, so you really don't know what's happening when you're a kid. You don't really know that you poor. I'm just being real. You don't even know that, right? Because it's just so
Yeah.
much love and they spoiling you or whatever. You know what I mean? My mom, my grandma spoiled me with whatever. You know. And then my uncles, they was doing what they was doing just to figure out the way to provide. So you don't know what you don't know, you know? So it was already at that point like good. Growing up and stuff like that, I was okay. You know what I mean? I just was in the projects, but I was all right, you know. But afterwards, when you graduate, when you become where I'm at now, it's always the thing of it's got to be more. That was my mindset. You know, I'm not the type that just feel like I'm gonna retire working for you. You know what I mean? I have to create my own space, but I'm gonna leverage what's in front of me, and that's kind of what I tell people too. Don't be so quick to leave where you are, especially if you love it. If you hate it, I don't feel you need to stay there a day over if you hate where you at. Like I think time is too precious for that. But if it's somewhere that you can tolerate, you love it, you just see it's real estate outgrowing it, then leverage still your job because there's so many perks with having that job profile rather than this real estate
You
profile.
might
So
have medical dental benefits.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, in a real estate investment, unless you're paying for insurance on the side,
right, exactly.
the
Yeah,
W-2 may provide you benefit. And sometimes it's benefit so your kids can get braces and your family's covered with dental. And so
yeah.
sometimes the W-2 will have that kind of a benefit.
Yeah, the only reason why I say I wouldn't say that because when people say that, that's kind of like you are trapped for that benefit of dental or medical or whatever, and
Yeah.
to me that feel like prison. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
you just
yeah.
trapped for that. You wanna, cause your real estate gonna take care of that. You can pay for it. Like I could pay for anything. I was
That's
paying
what I
for
do
tunnels.
now. I pay
You
for
know what I mean?
my insurance.
Yeah,
I don't have a
if you
W-2, so
but
part of
when it
my monthly
comes
expenses is that.
yeah, but if you have like credit and say sub two, you don't utilize credit. But if you are lending or whatever, you can get better terms and better rates to lend money from, or for your own projects until you just expand out and you now got business credit. Now you can just exit out. But if just have a plan with and leveraging your time at your W-2 rather than just leaving it. That's how I look at it. That's how I approached it. Like people making 200,000, 300,000 used to come up with me like, "Why you still here?" Because they see and knowing what I was doing before I like exited and stuff. They knew. And I told them like, "Nah, yeah, I got to get what you said I was invested in. Let me get that back too." So I would leverage it with my business profile and credit and stuff like that. I never even used the credit for like nothing. But I know at some point you will, and what the benefits of it. It's so many benefits to have a credit profile.
There you go. Yeah, no, and you're like I said, you're a perfect example. Hey, let's get on your. I want to talk about checks and balances. That's what we're going to talk
Mhm.
about essentially, and how to tip the scales. Um, what is for someone that's new to real estate? What does that mean coming from Chad Glover? Checks and balances, how to tip the scales.
It's literally it's so funny because we kind of weaving into it. It's like that. It's kind of perfect. Like take for one that don't have money. You don't have any idea of how to start and how to get into the real estate, or think you don't have nothing to give. But you can exchange that for value. Yes, yourself is valuable. Like every human has a value rating. I don't care how they think or may view themselves or whatever. You have a level of a value rating when it comes to real estate. Say if you don't know anything about real estate, the easier way to get into it is getting with someone that's already doing real estate. Just go what you would say intern if you coming from school,
Yeah.
do a job. You go intern for this person, but the cool thing you're gonna be getting paid and educated at the same time. So now, if you don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to own real estate, you can now the key words you always talking about is have relationships.
Yeah.
Like with my deals, I have lenders. So I never use my own cash. I would like go through all tons of scenarios. It's people that don't want to do what I do, meaning have systems and have people that source deals. They rather just let keep their money at work. So they'll put it in a safe uh bet, right? Rich people don't keep money in banks, for example. They already got it invested in something. And real estate is a safe vehicle. Like say if I default, they're getting a huge discount on the house because they're going to take it over because I defaulted on this $20,000, $50,000 loan, but the house may be worth over half a million.
Hmm.
So that's the upside for them of doing so. So it's like picking and choosing like where am I at on this spectrum to get involved in real estate. Creative finance is so many options, right? If you don't have the ability to go qualify for a mortgage, you're taking over a house subject to the debt staying in place and just articulating how it's a benefit for the seller. And then if they have equity, I'm gonna make you into the bank. And that sounds great to them. Like, oh, I'm gonna receive a check every month for my house that I'm getting that I've just sold. And I'm not paying that much taxes on it. When it's time for me to really be paid off, my capital gain is gonna be basically close to zero. It's not gonna be a lot. So I done won all around the board. I done kept most of the money. I've not paid taxes on it, and I'm still getting a check to buy groceries with every month, or take a trip whenever I like to.
There you go.
That's the way you articulate it when you think of checks and balances of just like again, real estate, those three branches, right? Executive, legislative, judicial, they just keeping each other in order. So nobody just get crazy, right? Real estate the same type of way, you know. The way that we get in terms of the wealth when we don't have that wealth, You can acquire it through real estate, through creative financing, through wholesaling. You take the wholesaling and now you turn yourself into the lender if you don't want to just have private lenders in your deal. There's just tons of ways. Like when you think of the real estate and creative financing in general, it just be what it sounds like. Get creative with it. Like my recent deal I just closed on, I have three companies inside of it, right? My holding company, which holds the property, the wholesale company, which what it sound like that make wholesale, it get money from wholesaling. But then you have I bought in a company where they set up people companies the like the correct way, as well as do transactional coordinating. So they did the paperwork. The team wholesaled it to my buy and hold company. So that's three ways. Now I'm gonna be getting paid on this one house. So as you go, you'll start thinking, okay, how can I keep more money in rather than have a lot of things going out that I'm paying all of these different people? And that's what just simple vertical integration. When you just vertically integrated your business to where now you just can have multiple things coming in and helping out tons of people
There you
too.
go.
You know?
Sounds great.
Yeah. That's the cool part I love about this more than anything is when I'm doing a deal, you actually see how many families get affected by it. There's little stuff you may not pay attention to, like the landscaper, the people that's doing the contract work, the people that come in to just keep the maintaining the home, right? The lender that you paying off, like all of the things. That's the reward I get from it. So I'm trying to always make sure that I'm doing stuff correctly, and when things don't go right, it's just still making sure that they'll be taken care of. That's just important, you know. And you'll find people, and then it just been again because I like to tell both sides of real estate too, is that you have instances where people don't be who you think they are too. It's
Hmm.
just life at the end of the day. But what's important is that you stay accountable for who you are. That's how I look at it. As long as I stay accountable for who I am, that energy is going to come back me in a different way. I can't account for what they do. Just let me be who I say I am at all times, no matter what. And that's going to mean that you're going to lose sometime, but you always get it back. It's just how it is. So from this podcast, from this thing that you have, the thing that you educate, and people that's constantly attracted to you, is because you are who you are consistently, like 100%. I don't know nobody on here that's perfect. If you is, I don't think you of this earth.
Yeah.
You're
No,
not even from
nobody's
Earth.
perfect.
Yeah, you're not from here. So but the key is the ownership of it and just always my thing is to strive to be better every day, 100%. And with that gonna come challenges, as you are seeing, gonna be more challenges. And the thing that I love about this real estate stuff is that as long as you doing one deal, two deals, or three, whatever you choose to do, over time, you're gonna get the thing that you have set out to be. So if I want to say anything in terms of how to what I call checks and balance, like laying off that playing field, is having that clear vision. If you don't have no roadmap of what you want to do, and you get around all these different people that's successful, I promise you're gonna chase every little thing because everything works. Everything works. I can give you hundreds of instances. That don't mean Chad doing them, but I know somebody that is. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
so I'm clear on who I am and what I want to grab, what I want to do. When it comes to my community, I created a 501c3 that's for the youth. And from that attraction, I attracted a co-chair, treasurers. I attracted all of these people that's in that nonprofit space. And again, I had no clue how nonprofits work. I just believe so much in a vision that come to me that it's me. I didn't come from it. I believe in God. Sorry,
Hey,
not
no,
sorry.
no
That's
apology
not. Yeah,
necessary. You're good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not sorry. But people don't, and that's fine. It's totally fine. I study like I very not getting to all of this religious stuff. My family is Christians. I have people that's Muslim. My friends are Jewish. Like
Yeah.
everybody. So
Oh, yeah.
I
All
don't.
backgrounds. All
I
backgrounds.
study everything, right? But I don't. That's why if you follow me for real, you see I post humanity, not like so much as a religious aspect of it, because I understand how that can get. I just the human factor of what's going on affects me. I hate to see certain things that's happening in this
Yeah.
world.
And as you
So
know, I follow your posts.
yeah, yeah. So, but I won't do that here. But that's the way that I've seen how to like kind of make it fair. And then when you think of fair, that's a loaded word too, cause we're living in a society where I'm gonna speak from my experience as a black male in this society has been you got to go a little harder sometimes. So I don't allow that to be a crutch either. I don't even think about it. I just keep going and just keep pushing and it come to fruition. I attract good people. Like JJ. I ain't trying to just do this because I'm talking to him, but y'all been on the calls with him and you know what type of individual he is. Like I don't even have to say none of that. He been like that since day one. Like that's a rarity. You know what I mean? He always see him in the picture smiling with a new person. I'm like, who is this person? Like he said earlier, you become curious. Like, who is it? Why is he? How is this? That's a superpower too, believe it or not. If you can attract people and just be a connector, that's like a superpower. Like people don't know how valuable that is in itself. I had to get to the point to how I used to ask like, how do you even ask questions to a person that's worth like nine figures? What do that even sound like? What can I even give them? And then it was Kelly Hanno. I never forget. She just like telling me like, she just be you, just talk. It ain't that deep. And you figure it out that they ain't that deep. And then you figure out a lot of time too, they ain't that smart. That's the crazy part. They
Yeah.
don't even be that smart.
Yeah.
Like, so you figuring like how the freak he get this wealthy and
Hmm.
he's not sharp, right? They don't read books like you think they do. They don't, it just don't. And I have a couple of them that's, I shouldn't have said that, dang. But
It's all
I have a
right.
few
No, you're
friends
good.
that's really, really freaking rich, but they ain't the sharpest too when you talk to them about stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
like, man, but what separates them is they freaking work ethic, right? They hone in something and they go and they connect with people. That's what I've picked up from every last one of them. They don't if they don't know something. Pace, for example. So because everyone here knows Pace. And Pace is smart, so I'm definitely not talking about him not being the sharpest tool. 100%. That joker's smart. I give him that. But if he don't know something, well, he didn't know RV parks, for example. He started being around them. You start seeing him introduce him to the community and asking him questions. He was literally educating himself at the same time as he educating us. And then he'll go do it. That's what separated him from other students. He would literally do what he hearing people tell him. That's what separates him. So with success, we know that in order to become successful is shortening that gap from idea to execution. It has to be short, right? That's not sitting in my off like I'm renovating this to be my studio and stuff. But it's not me sitting in here and just doing a lot of like studying, right? Because I can't make money from studying. I can make money from the actions of it. So I'm gonna learn something, then I go do it. And then the cool part is while you're doing something, that's where you have the aha moment, right? It's not me. You can get an aha moment from just sitting here and just be like, oh shoot, I think that'll work. But when you actually start doing it, it may not work the way that it came to you, but it may be a better way to come to you as you're doing the thing, right? So I think 100% it has to be from action that makes it not only you get better ideas or you find your ideas, but that's where those aha moments come like, oh shoot, this is
Yeah.
it, you know?
Yeah.
So
And Pace does say that frequently. You take action. You know,
100%.
there's so much learning, and I know so many of the newer investors are like stuck in the fire hose, and
Mm-hmm.
they just need to pull themselves out and get into the field of play. And
Yes.
hopefully we can minimize our mistakes. We minimize our mistakes by learning from the people around us that have already walked that path, which is why
Mm-hmm.
networking is so important. And I say build our network before we need it, even when we're brand spanking new.
Mm-hmm.
Build your relationships before you need them. Start surrounding yourself with successful people who will like you because you're the new person who's doing it the right way. Meaning, build your relationships before you need them. Carmelita Keith did it. You are on with the Chad Glover. What's your question?
Hi, Chad.
Yeah, you doing?
Question is, if I find things, you mentioned a little while ago how, you can do a lot of things and be successful. You know people who are doing all parts of real estate and obviously finding success in all places. what was your strategy, or what would you suggest for maybe someone new to not be distracted by all the different things that can be done to be successful? Like, how did you stay focused on your lane and not just try to dabble all over the place? What was your strategy for doing that?
Mine was, and that's a really, really, really good question. And because it can go multiple ways. Like my strategy was knowing that what I wanted, right? And then even when I seen all of these, remember it was small when I started, so it wasn't you wasn't hearing a lot, but you was hearing like people closing deals and doing all the things. And then you knew pace of what he was doing. That was basically the benefit I had of being so early is that he was the one educating us on like 9 hour Zooms. Like that's how our Zooms was. So how I stayed is being remembering what I came in it for, and then understanding what resources I had, and not even jumping ahead when all these shiny objects came about, like short-term rentals, Airbnb start booming, right? Um, Mid-term rent, all this little stuff came in. So when I started out, it also starts out where you are at when you first start out, right? If you coming in, say you already have 100,000 in a 401k or 100,000 liquid or 50, whatever you can, that means now you can start investing in it as long as you understand how to protect yourself. When I came in, I was at um a job, right? The job was great, like 100%. Like again, I told you I could have retired from it. It's like a really good job. But I said I want to own something. So how I stayed like really in line with that, I said I'm a wholesale, right? And then I'm gonna go buy houses. I thought that's what I had to do. Pace said no. You can buy a house by sub two, sell financing sub two. You can now get it and put it on a wrap. When I heard wrap, I said, oh shoot, okay. So what is that? It's basically me owning the house without owning the house. I'm taking the house subject to, putting the person in that want to buy it from me, and I'm becoming the bank from them. But how I did mine, I structured it to where it stays in my personal company name. So if they stop paying, I just take it back as an eviction. And that allowed me to see the aspect of me owning it, like seeing my name on the paper. Like when you looked it up, you seen my company name. So that gave me the mindset of ownership. But I wasn't ready to like own it, meaning a landlord, because that means you calling me for toilets backed up, all of this stuff. I said I don't have the bandwidth for that. But now, whenever I did get to that point of knowledge, what I call personal development, that's when I said, okay, now I want to hold it as a landlord, right? But then I said, now I don't really like landlord. Let me find out something else because I don't like the aspect of kicking people out. Like truly, I have one eviction I ever had to do. One I'm going through right now, actually. The only one I ever had. It don't feel good. Even though they ain't paying, you still don't want to move people out of the house. You know, it's just a weird scenario, right? But I say now I want to do what I feel I'm here to do. I like connecting with people and helping people out. So I start renting by the room. Then I learned you can license houses, right? So that fell in line with again my 501c3 and what I'm doing that for. And now I can put people that has certain needs, like adults or youth, and you can put them into these houses. And the reward is you see them. You can now create curriculum for them and all of those things. That's something I'm forming right now. And then so that's where I'm kind of at, and now I'm going to other stuff like assisted living and things like that. So what kept me focused is truly understanding like who I am and what I want to do, and not getting caught up in all of the what I call noise of what happens in these type of spaces. You know, as long as you know, like I'm Carmelita Keith, this is where I'm from, this is what I'm doing it for. This is by all no means that I'm gonna veer off. If this don't work, I'm gonna just pivot over here. But I'm
Yeah.
not gonna try and just jump on the train of going to build 100 by a 250 unit apartment, right? Cause this person done it. I know it worked, but is that what I want to do? If it's something I want to do, okay, perfect. I'll jump over it. But that ain't what I'm on. So that's kind of what kept me grounded is just knowing who I am and just what I truly want, and what level of freedom I want too. Cause that's anxiety too. Like, trust me, they don't talk about this stuff. Like I tell you, all of the good and the bad. Like you have anxiety from certain stuff too. You have to calm yourself down like a lot of times. Like, hold up, this ain't gonna be right. Or
There
this
you
is
go.
happening right here, you know? It just come with it. But how I sentence myself when even to get in those moments is that I utilize like the law of attraction. Like your thoughts really controls your outcome of your reality. So if I'm sitting up here, I don't worry, you know, you may get some anxiety because it's excitement. You're like, oh shoot, what is that? You calm it down, you kind of go with it. Because again, what you think is what's going to be. So I'm always in tune. You ain't gonna never be around me, hear me talking negative. I promise you, it just don't happen. You come with a problem, you're gonna eat. You gonna I'm immediately say, okay, what we do? Because I ain't want to talk about the problem. You just told me that.
So
You know,
Chad, you're kind of saying to be yourself, stay humble, but stay focused.
stay locked in.
Because
That's
as
it.
Carmelita is saying,
Yeah,
there's so many. One of the things I think Pace's saying is shiny object syndrome.
yeah, yeah.
So many things out there. What's the newest gadget? What's the newest method?
Mm-hmm.
But so you've been consistent. You stayed with your focus. What worked for you,
Yeah.
and then gradually, as time has gone on, that's allowed you through your established success to then take other steps in other directions.
Yes.
But
And that's what
did
keeping
did
it
that
locked in with who you are.
did
100%.
do we answer your question, Carmelita?
Yes, thank you so much. Great answer.
Troy, you're on with Chad. What's your question, Troy?
Well, one, I think I'm going to want to talk to you about that 501c. Say, I have my own ideas that I want to go down that path.
Okay, yeah. I did it myself too. Like people was amazed I did it and got it approved because I'm a type that again, if I believe it, I just do it and I ask questions. I asked the IRS people a ton of questions and they told me. That's how I done it. Like it was no lawyer involved or nothing. Like it's 100% honest. I just and they were like, "You approved?" Like, oh shoot, am I? Oh, but that's a whole nother story.
There you
Oh,
go.
Yeah.
All right, Troy. Troy, did we answer your question?
I say the actual question is one about his hometown, but my actual question is, where do you see like investors accidentally give up power, and what feedback loop do you build into your own business that makes sure that you're not the one person, including yourself, that becomes a single point of failure?
Yeah, if I heard you correct, you saying how do I set it up to where as if I'm not the only one or the single point of
No,
failure, like things fail
that
with me.
there is no one single point of failure. Nobody, no person is a single point of failure in the business.
Oh man, like again, if you ever like so failure means to me that you quit, right? That's
No,
only
I
how.
mean, it's like if something happens to you,
Mm-hmm.
you're not there,
Oh, like so
or
the
anybody
team.
in the business or
Oh,
in
like
that in your business.
yeah. So if you talking to a team aspect, is that what you're saying? Like if I'm not here, this person can do it.
Yeah, I would say, what have you set up in your business that kind of makes sure that if you're not there, it's taken care of?
Oh, right, right. So I have again. I don't know if I said this earlier, but in everything that I do is someone there, right? I don't want to do nothing by myself because that means that one, I'm like created multiple jobs for myself, and you only have 24 hours in a day. I do,
Yeah.
you and I do. But if I hand you a task, right, that's gonna get 8 hours or 16 hours back added to my 24. That's how I look to it. So I'm gonna do something other than what I was doing was if I was doing like say cold calling and I hand that off, now what I'm gonna do with those 8 hours I just gained back, right? I'm gonna go fill it with something else. So when terms of if I'm not there, I've got people that does know how to do TC work, they know how to cold call, they know how to close a deal, know how to underwrite a deal, they know how to who I need to talk to for a lender, a DSCR people. Like that's how I got it set up. So if I'm a lot of times I'm not doing stuff on the phone. I just like still talking to sellers and then having ideas and building them out. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I just my thing is businesses, right? Whether it's with tech people or whatever. That's kind of where I'm at. But things have to still get paid, right?
Yeah.
So that means I have to have some form of cash injections coming in still outside of like the rentals and stuff like that. So that's how I have it set up. That it won't fail due to unless I pull the plug on something. That's why I said you only fail if you quit. And if I stop doing the thing, that's when it's gonna become a failure, you know.
Yeah. Then
So
I had one question about where you live because it took me a minute to remember it. Have you been to the hot air balloon in your area festival?
I had before. I think they had it. I think they had it already too. I know to drive by, and that's when I know it's having all these balloons up. They have them everywhere now. So
There you go.
I
yeah,
was like, I'm one of those like catch like places I want to go across the country, and that
yeah,
remember that popping up.
yeah. It's definitely a thing. I used to
Sounds
go as a
sounds
kid.
memorable.
Yeah.
All right, Troy, thank you so much, my friend. Jason, you're on with Chad. What's your question, Jason?
What's been your biggest mindset shift since you've been in a business?
Biggest mindset shift. Oh man. I just think it really has just grown into more what I already felt, you know? Because excuse me again, I never had the idea that I couldn't do something. It was that I didn't know I didn't have the resources or the information. So one thing that I have practiced more that I can say is what I spoke about earlier when it comes to understanding the universal laws, like the law of harmony, for example. Like if a person is doing you a certain way, you don't want to keep like that energy reverberating because it don't change. But once you just calm the waters, it kind of fizzles out, and then you go and do something more better than when that person that was there. Or when it comes to like just the law of attraction, the law of vibration, like all of these things is kind of what I've like tapped into more since I've got into this space. But I always had the idea that I can just do whatever. It just how I was just created, I guess, you know. I'm having that idea. If I can see it, I can achieve it. So it's just that a lot of things I was just not privy to. It was just closed off. And so it's certain things, TV shows actually used to inspire me and give me like that idea, like, oh, it's something way more, you know, like the Cosby Show or something like that. Spoons and all that, you know. It gave an idea like it's a lot of stuff that I can do. But the Cosby Show was one of those ones like, dang, you know, okay, this is different, you know.
Mhm.
Seeing that. So that was my biggest mindset. The thing that I've learned is that, yeah, man, it would just compound it when I seen the successful stuff that was around me and knowing that I can get it. That's just how I always been, 100%.
Alicia, you're on with Chad. What's your
What's up,
question?
Alicia? I've texted Alicia before. I've never seen you face to face. I think we was before, but it's been a long time.
It has been a while, yes. I am
Yeah.
so pleased with your presentation today.
Oh, thank you.
You've
I
done a
appreciate
really good job.
that.
I
Thank
want
you.
to know, where in North Carolina are you?
I go from Charlotte to Statesville. It's all right there, like 30 minutes from each other. Right now, I'm in Statesville at the one Jim would talk JJ would talk about. I built the house I built, but I built it in 2018 though.
I met the most adorable young man today. He's on this call. His name is Bob Ritchie, and he's in North Carolina. And I think he needs to make one of those 501c3s that you made. And I
Mhm.
was just wondering if I could point that out to you because it's his first call, and I don't think he'll get on here and say anything.
I don't know if they do that today. Like this was created in 2017, but literally they were telling me every step to do along that way. And I just asked them a question, they'll tell me. And I got an
Well,
email
he's got
saying
a
you're
group of
approved.
people. He's
Yeah.
just getting into multifamily, and he's
Well,
doing Raleigh and around in there. But
Alicia,
you're
why
right there on top of him.
why don't you and I, Alicia, get with Bob? Let's jump on a call, get acquainted with him, and help him in building relationships. And the first person we'll introduce him to is Chad, which couldn't be a better place to start in his own backyard as far as the same state goes. But
Sure.
you and I will have Chad's number. You've got Mr. Ritchie's number. So let's make sure we connect these guys. Chad, I want to ask you something.
Mhm.
In building relationships, and we get introduced to things. Um, what do you think is the biggest challenge for the newer investor when it comes to building relationships? I mean, what's the best way to go about that, do you think?
The one of the easiest ways. if you are into whatever you're in, it don't matter what field you're in, is to get around the people that's doing it. And then don't what I call the elevator pitch. Well, if I'm around anybody, from an airplane, an elevator, I say, "Hey, how you doing?" Then say, "Hey, what you do?" Once we talk, "Hey, what all you do?" And you'll notice that if a person is actively into something, they love to talk about it. It's just natural. Like they're gonna talk about, "Oh yeah, I do this." Some of them be kind of closed until you get more into it. I think that's one of the challenges that people just have when they just feel like out of place on something. They don't want to just speak out and ask like who they are and what you. And you'll be amazed that people that does have it, they love to help people too. That's one trait that you'll find. Like 80% of them, 85 really love to see people succeed too. You know, so they'll take people on their wing. They will give you and point you into the right directions. One of the good things I see on Instagram is this kid. He always walk up to rich people like, "Hey, when you make your first $1 million," he don't know who these people is. He just see them coming out of rich stores and just assume that they wealthy and end up being some of the craziest, wealthiest people if you ever watch that channel. So just imagine you walk around people every day and they don't look wealthy either, right? They don't walk around with like a lot of designer clothes on and stuff like that. Those are a lot of entertainers because that's a part of their brand. But when you see like really, really wealthy people, they look t-shirt and hats and none of it. They don't. So you'll walk right past them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've learned, yeah, just
I,
to ask them, ask questions to people. That's the challenge and the hurdle you got to get over yourself.
I love everything about what you've done. Again, it centers around your family, your community, how you become a leader in the sub two community, and just everything you spoke about today. You're an inspiration. You're a motivation. Um, you know, I see your posts on social media on the humanistic topics. Again, bordering on inspiration, talking about certain things that how do we become better as people. Um, I just want to recognize you for that for sure. But the last two questions I want to ask you. One, for if people on the call want to connect with you later down the line, what's the best way for them to reach you? Would it be, I don't know, Snapchat or MySpace or TikTok or
Yeah,
Twitter?
I'm trying to learn TikTok. I ain't there yet. I'm
There
trying.
you go.
I'm
You know,
trying. Yeah, yeah, I have a Facebook page. I have a called Creative Real Estate Strategies by Chad Glover, and I'll be going inside of there and doing like Zooms and things like that. Right.
and then of course we have you on Instagram as well. I love what you're doing. So Facebook and Instagram primarily are the best
Mhm.
ways to reach you. And of course, you've got a Facebook group which we'll be marketing. I say, why don't we market your group to my group and see who
I
in my
appreciate
group
it.
wants to join your group and learn in that regard. I wasn't aware of that, so let's market that. Last question for you. My group is a networking group. It's not about wholesaling or cold calling or multifamily or creative finance. It's about building relationships. With your with your experience as a successful investor, for the new investor today, and I don't mean just new to social media, those that are experienced, much less brand new. What importance is it for the real estate investor today to use and leverage social media to build their visibility, build their network?
Man, it's like the cheat code. If you are one thing that, and this is something I'm gonna talk to myself for a second. I seen somewhere where they say they will post 10 like things a day, like just putting and seeing what's working and all that. And then what they find out what's work, they compound on that. And what helps that if you look at our pages, it now has how many people looked at it, like how many views, right?
Hmm.
So you're like, oh, they like this type of content. You be like, why they like that? But that's the type of thing that's grabbing their attention. So say with me with real estate, you may hear me talk about a deal or a strategy to someone. And oh sure, I'm gonna just post this. Because what I've found is if people don't know what you're doing, it's going to basically amount to the business that you have, right? If you're not getting in, like, say, $100,000 a year, that means that you don't have a lot of people that know what you're doing. It's just what it is. Once you get more out there, I have a house that I own to this day that comes from Instagram. This
Really?
person just seen. 100%. He just seen me and say, "Hey, I have a deal that may fit what you was just talking about." Literally, that's how the conversation started. He said, I can't do nothing with it. It has a mortgage on it. It don't have enough because he was a wholesaler. Or maybe you can. If you can do something cool, I don't want anything. He just sent me the lead. I locked it up sub two, moved the person down to Florida, and I still have it in Dover, Delaware. I'm about to list it though because it's got a ton of equity in it. You know, so
Cool.
if I was not on social media, I wouldn't have got that deal. You know, and then other people reach out to me wanting like mentorship or coaching or saying, "Hey, I have this money. I want to put it in this. What should I do?" And all of those things, and I'm giving them strategies on how to do that as well. So social media is super important. Even if you're not doing nothing yet, just talk about the thing that you want to do. You know, one thing that Pace wanted used to do, and he would go to a 7-Eleven and he would hold his phone up. And he'd be like, "Hey, I'm at the 7-Eleven meetup. We all about to go out to our houses and do some door knocking today. Who I want to come? Be here the next 10 minutes. We rolling out." It wouldn't be nobody there. But he literally just said, "I have a group of people." He did that like 2 times. The next time was flooded with people, right? So he didn't have that following then. When he started doing what he's doing now, he didn't have the following that he have. You know, you just gotta do the thing. And that's we all gotten in touch with him through social media, you know. It's some
There
way
you
of
go. Yeah, he's obviously a social media king
yeah.
with the visibility and the groups and the education
Visibility is
programs
key.
and got his own
Hmm.
marketing team. That's amazing what he's built out. Well, hey,
Yeah.
brother, I want to thank you for coming on today. I know we could go forever, but we have to respect your time. And
Yeah. Your
if
voice
you
is
guys
out.
are watching right now on the call, you want to get a hold of Chad, best way to get a hold of him is Instagram. And if you're on the call right now, guys, please send him a message on Instagram. Please come in here, start liking his posts, his videos. And the other way is going to be your Facebook page, Chad Glover. So, guys, feel
Yes.
free if you add him as a friend, if you're watching on YouTube, if you add anybody as a friend, always send a message, introduce yourself, let people know who you are, how you came to know the individual. Maybe you're in the same education group, what you have in common, your real estate investors, and always provide your phone number to someone you're adding because you're adding them for the purpose of getting to know them. If you want to get a hold of me, join my group, scan this trickle QR code. It's going to be a posted and register now button there. And you can register for my networking group. If you want to see the videos on our YouTube channel, scan the purple QR code and you will, in essence, be able to subscribe for our YouTube channel. If you guys are on the call, don't go away. We're going to do some breakout rooms or try and do a little bit more personal networking. Chad, for everybody else out there, um, they'll see you and me on the world of social media, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So look for Chad, guys. Chad, thank you so much. Everybody else, we'll see you in just a minute. All right, Chad, I guess now's where we just start bidding goodbye. See you guys.